Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Spider-Man 60 Amazing Years, the Beyond Amazing Anniversary line to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man. Here we have the Amazon exclusive Silk and Doc Ock 2-pack. This is a weird 2-pack because why are Silk and Doc Ock together in the same box? I don't really know. It's just kind of one of those funny ones. And here's kind of the thing, you know, it is the third release of Silk. We had the one in the Venom, the Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave. Then we had the fan choice winner, Silk. And now we get another Silk in a fairly short amount of time. I'm not mad at it because I love Silk. Cindy Moon is an awesome character in my opinion. I've read all the comics. Actually, not the latest run. I bought some of the issues, but I haven't read them. Shame, shame, shame on me. But she is a Korean spider hero. She was bit by the same spider that bit Peter Parker. So really interesting. She actually shoots web out of her fingers. So they give us this awesome new web effect piece there. That's going to be for Silk specifically, which is really nice. We get the shorter hair. 2 head sculpts to go along with it because at some point she did cut her hair, make it shorter. And then we have Doc Ock, which is essentially the same Doc Ock that we got before. At least Silk, it is on the updated female body, so the double jointed elbows, the pinless knees and elbows, just overall much better figure. So that's awesome that we get that. And then the fan choice one actually was difficult for a lot of folks to get. You know, it sold out pretty quickly and people weren't able to get it. Plus the Venom wave was a difficult wave to begin with, and then those kind of both got priced. So this gives folks another opportunity to get Silk, even if it's kind of going in and out of stock on Amazon. Always check like other sellers to make sure you can get that $55.99 regular retail price for it. $55.99 is high price for this 2-pack. I don't mind spending that because I get an awesome Silk figure because, again, I love the character. So for a lot of you guys, this is going to be a super mega easy pass. Like, why even think about it? $56 for 2 characters that have already been released before. I get it. Doc Ock, he still doesn't have bendable, not bendable, but wired tentacles, bendy wire tentacles. They're the same as the previously released version. We have some color deco changes and things like that. 1 new head sculpt to go along with it. So it's just kind of one of those things. But again, I get it. Easy pass for some folks. Some people missed out on that Doc Ock. Some people missed out on the previous 2 Silk. This is a chance for them. Not all of these figures are going to be for everyone. So again, I understand a lot of frustration on it. For me, I love the Silk figure. It's cool that we get it. New Doc Ock head. Why not? I don't really. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. The pack isn't, for me, it isn't all about Doc Ock. It's all about Silk. And as you can see, we get the Silk logo on the front. We don't get the Doc Ock logo. Nope. Anyway, digital renders on the front of the package. We actually get some comic style there, kind of in the background. On the side of the package, we get comic artwork, digital renders of figures on the side. And then here on the back of the package, we get all the accessories. So Silk, she comes with an extra head sculpt, extra hands, and then that web effect. Doc Ock comes with his tentacles and an extra head and some extra hands. And then we will take a closer look at Doc Ock first. Okay, so this is actually the new head sculpt that Doc Ock comes with. This previous version was the one that was released in the SPDR Build-A-Figure wave. The eyes are painted on in there, of course, under the glasses. This one as well, you can see that the glasses are not actually removable. They are kind of glued on to the head, and they don't, in my opinion, they don't really sit right on there. Like, it should sit lower than they are, and it's just kind of frustrating. You can't really move them around to do that. But the head sculpt looks cool because we don't get that greeting face. We kind of have the more relaxed look to them. The tentacles are the exact same, but they are a different silver color. The figure is also a different green and yellow. As we could do kind of a little bit of side-by-side comparisons here. We get a much brighter green, a much brighter yellow. So it's all about these bright colors with these figures lately, like Sentry, super bright, that Wolverine and the Bonebreaker wave, super bright, and now Doc Ock, super bright green, super bright yellow. It's actually a much shinier green as well, but really that's the only difference between these two. The tentacles are the same, but here we get a nice darker silver color. Here we get that cheap kind of looking silver color. It's not terrible when it comes to these tentacles though, so I don't hate it, but I can understand the frustration there that they didn't update or do anything different whatsoever. They gave us the same exact tentacles, little blue orbs there in the middle, and that's a little bit different, a little bit brighter in color than the previous versions. But yeah, so there's Doc Ock. We'll pop on the other head sculpt because it is the same head sculpt, but again, the difference here is going to be in the the paint apps of it, because now we get the digital face print for all comic figures as well. So it does give it a much cleaner look in the lips and the teeth and the eyes, if you could see them, but you're not really going to be able to see them because the glasses are in the way. So updates there, that is pretty cool. But again, the highlight of this figure is definitely not the Doc Ock figure, but just to show you guys the tentacles, they port right on into the back of the figure, and you can put these in any spot that you want. So I just have it here because these bottom ones are kind of a little bit longer and they can help kind of balance the figure just in case, and then these ones kind of come around. But you can pop these out and port them wherever you want them to be, to display the tentacles however you want. They do not need to be in a certain way. You can just do it however you want. And because this is second Doc Ock, I'll actually be displaying mine without the tentacles, since the other one I will be continue to display with the tentacles, and then I'll have the relaxed head there. So in terms of articulation, Doc Ock can look up that much. He can look down that much. That's actually not, oh, there we go. You get a little bit more. He can actually look down, so that is good. Full rotation in there, of course, a little bit of neck pivot to show some attitude. The shoulder, you can get the arm to go basically straight out like so. A little gummy in that joint there, so be careful there. Full rotation, of course, upper bicep swivel in that bicep, double jointed elbow like so. They are not pinless because this is a reuse body, so that much bend at the elbow. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. We get the diaphragm cut on Doc Ock, so he could pivot to his left that much. He could pivot to his right that much, which is pretty good. Going back is not a whole lot. Coming forward is not a whole lot. You get a swivel at that diaphragm cut, no waist swivel on Doc Ock. Legs, mine super stiff. Legs go out that far apart, which isn't a whole lot, but he's a big dude. He's probably not going to be moving around a whole lot. Legs go out that far forward, not a whole lot. Back, yeah, not really. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee that does have pins. You get that much bend there. You do get a boot swivel in there at the calf. Foot hinges down, hinges up a little bit. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. But enough of Doc Ock. Let's get into the highlight of the pack, Cindy Moon Silk. Okay, so this is as close as I can get to Silk, and the new head sculpt looks awesome. She gets that blue shading in the hair like the previous ones. Well, the other ones kind of had a grayish. This one's definitely more of a blue, and I think that looks really good there. She has this head sculpt, which has the mask on there. The digital print looks great there, but we're going to pop this head off, and we're going to pop on, we can put like the sash around her neck, as you can see there, as if she pulls down her mask. And then we pop that one on, and then we have the Cindy Moon head sculpt, and I think that looks really good. She actually looks Asian this time around, which is great. So I really like that. It's not a perfect head sculpt to kind of how she was drawn, but there were a couple of different artists for Cindy Moon. But I think that looks better than the previous one that we got, where she didn't really look Asian, but she was apparently. Like, you couldn't really tell. I think here she definitely looks Asian. I can actually see it coming through. Looking at the figure, paint apps on mine are really good. No issues whatsoever. The only thing, and this would just be a little nitpicky, you see the red web lines there. They just kind of extend beyond the white. That is not a big deal at all. This suit is the same as the fan choice one here. The web lines are much thinner, which I actually think looks a little bit better, but the design of the suit itself is actually the same, but this time we get the double jointed elbows with the bicep swivel, the pinless knees, a much sturdier, better figure for females. So this one now is obsolete, but you know, it can be Silk with the long hair, and that's okay. That we got that, in my opinion, because again, I love Silk, but I know there are people out there that probably don't care for the character. You know, when we introduce new characters, oftentimes people don't really care. Like, she was bit by the same spider and has very similar abilities to Spider-Man. You know, was that completely necessary? And it fits the story that they were trying to tell, so I'm all good with it, and I really enjoyed the character. But anyway, looking at this web effect piece, as you could see, that comes off of 2 fingers here because she actually spins her webs right out of her fingertips. And the way it's always drawn, it always just kind of goes out all crazy and stuff. So here it just kind of comes around, you know, loops around her arm and things like that, and that's pretty cool. To swap that out, you just pull out at the wrist peg, as you can see, if it wants to focus there, and then you can pop on any of the hands, and she comes with a bunch of hands. So she actually has these 2 open hands or wall crawling hands. You could use them as there. She also has a pair of fists, which is great. And then she also has these 2 open hands, so if you had a web effect, she can hold on to the web or anything like that. So that is pretty cool there. But yeah, loving the Silk figure. Really great to have. I would love to see her first appearance as Silk, which is the web suit that she creates, you know, using her own webbing that actually comes out. But I think, you know, Hasbro would not do that because, you know, she's just got webs covering her body. Maybe in some kind of Comic-Con exclusive set or something that they would be able to do that, or Hasbro Pulse exclusive. But I would love to see a first appearance Silk. I would even take a Silkworm figure from the Dead No More, Dead Conspiracy, Clone Conspiracy line from a couple of years ago. I would take that. I think that would actually be pretty cool. But anyway, let's go check out Silk's articulation. Okay, Silk can look all the way down. She can look all the way up to an insane amount. Full rotation in that head. The head does sit very high on the ball peg, so the neck is quite long, and that seems to be a problem with all the female figures. Hopefully one day Hasbro will get that right and get that figured out. The arm can go straight out like so. Full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbows. So we can get that much bend in the elbow, which is insane for females. I'm still so happy that we have that. Now, wrist hinge, you can get a horizontal hinge on all of the hands. We have the diaphragm cut, so she can pivot to her left that much. She can pivot to her right that much. She can go back actually a fair amount, which is great. She can come forward hardly anything. That is where it is lacking and continues to lack with female articulation. Swivel at that diaphragm joint. There is no waist swivel because female figures still don't get that. Legs go out that far apart. She can't kick forward that high, which is fantastic. Leg does go back a little bit. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee. Works out really well. No calf swivel or boot swivel or anything like that. Foot hinges all the way down. A little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, and very shallow peg holes at the bottom of their feet. I don't know how effective these peg holes would be, so just a heads up on that. But Silk has great articulation, so it's awesome for me anyway, and for a lot of you guys, you know, be for other characters when you get an updated figure that improves on the articulation. So I'm very excited about that. So let's see the side-by-side comparisons of all 3 Silk figures that Hasbro has released. I'm going to go right into it. I had this Silk figure standing for a little bit, but the way that the gumminess of these older legs, and they always bowed and everything, it just really pissed me off. She fell down right before I hit the record button. So that was always the trouble with the older female figures. But this new body that Hasbro finally has developed, it's so much better. There's still room for improvement. Adding in a waist swivel or a ball joint at the waist will be huge for female figures. Can they figure out an ab crunch in there for some? For some, maybe. For most of the female figures, because they make them so small, it probably wouldn't work out. But again, Hasbro is headed in the right direction. At least, you know, the pinless joints, and then the fact that we get the double elbows with the bicep swivel. I think that is huge, and I'm so happy that we have it for Silk. So some Spider-Man characters, we got to see how they size up with Spider-Man, and I think the sizes work out really well. Silk next to Spider-Man looks great. Spider-Man next to Doc Ock, he's taller, he's a lot slender. So that I think looks great. This is of course the Renew Your Vows 2-pack version of Spider-Man, the ultra articulated, and I think they look great together. Okay, so here are the 2 Doc Ocks side by side. They are the same exact figures. The tentacles are the same. Don't let it fool you that they're kind of in different positions. It's just kind of how the bends of them are, and I think they're going to be a little bit warped with how they go into the package now. They were just kind of in there. 2 of the tentacles were in a paper bag. The other 2 were just kind of in there with where the Silk figure was. It was really weird kind of how they did it, but they are the same. No bendy wire, unfortunately. Maybe one day they'll give us a super expensive Doc Ock figure that will have bendy wire and we'll all complain about it then. But for now, this is what we got. It's not the greatest. People have done mods using some kind of USB light or something. Maybe one day again, you know, we'll see Scorpion has bendy wire tail. Maybe eventually they'll release a Doc Ock. I would love to see an animated series Doc Ock. I don't think that's something that we will get, unfortunately, but that would be pretty cool. But again, one day, maybe bendy wire, maybe in a deluxe release, something super overpriced. Who knows how Hasbro will do it, if they ever do. At this point, they may not, though, seeing as how they released the same exact figure and didn't change up anything. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, out of the 2 Doc Ock figures now that have been released, which one do you prefer, the older one or the newer one? Newer one has brighter colors, which are cool. The tentacles have more of a shine to it, not necessarily a more realistic metal looking look to it, but kind of one of those things, green glasses versus silver glasses. You guys let me know down in the comments below which one you think looks better. I'm actually leaning towards the original release as a better looking Doc Ock figure. So if you got that one, don't care for Silk, you don't need this pack. If you missed out on this one and you want a Doc Ock figure, pick it up, because there he is. He comes with it and you get an awesome Silk figure. But anyway, you guys let me know down in the comments below which one do you prefer out of the 2. Okay, so Silk, you can get into some really decent poses, which is awesome. Doc Ock, you're not really going to be able to do a whole lot. And the tricky thing is moving these tentacles around, swiveling them, switching them up, positions in the back, isn't going to help a whole lot when it comes to doing any kind of dynamic pose for Doc Ock, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks. But Silk's awesome. Okay, so my final thoughts on this 2-pack. While Silk and Doc Ock really don't kind of go together, and I'll never probably really understand the thought process here, other than it gets a chance to get people a Silk figure and get people a Doc Ock figure. It's still really, really weird. But I can't be mad at it. I love the Silk figure. Doc Ock, sure, cool. Why not? I'll take another one. The new relaxed head sculpt, not bad. But Silk. Cindy Moon, what an awesome figure. What an awesome character. In my opinion, I know I don't see a lot of love for her, unfortunately. Maybe it's the Korean in me. But I think she's an awesome character, and I love her first 2 runs. Volume 3, I'll get to reading hopefully soon. But awesome figure that I'm very happy to have. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys like this 2-pack. Are you going to pick it up? You're passing on it, trying to get one or the other, or both, not wanting both or anything? Let me know in the comments below. I will have a link to in the video description below to Amazon. I don't know if it's going to be in stock. Always check other sellers. Remember, $55.99 is the standard retail price for this. Don't pay the $99.99 that other secondary and third-party sellers already have it on Amazon for. So just a heads up on that. If you guys are interested in becoming a channel member, hit the join button to join the MCU Collective. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.